Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm here checking out Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the Switch. They very specifically call this Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for Nintendo Switch. A little odd, but nothing too out of the ordinary, I guess. So, this is a sort of MMO beat-em-up, which is a bit odd, but it's closer to Destiny than it is a full-on MMO, but we'll get into that. Lots of settings we can only play around with out here in the menu, so it's probably best we go have a look at them first. You can change what your button controls are like here, which is nice. There is also motion controls, but seriously, motion controls, not even going to try them if you want me to be perfectly honest. Try that with arms, it was horrible. There's your camera settings, you've got some game settings here, including voice language. It's weird it's here, and it's weird all the volumes are here too, but whatever. You've also got your way your name is displayed, subtitles, and stuff with the online stuff. You can change the brightness, I've got it on max because that's just how I like it, and you can change what the music is like in any particular area, which is nice, but not entirely necessary. So we'll just go load straight into my game. I can't tell you how long I've been playing this for, because despite the amount of stats this game keeps track of, the amount of time you've been playing is not one of them for some reason. So you're just gonna have to take my word on it that I've been playing for... Actually, I honestly have no idea. It's probably something like 6 hours. Maybe a bit more than that, but yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. We have a couple of options we can play with in the lobby, because as I said, this is a lot like Destiny, where if you hook up to the multiplayer lobby, you can see people running around and stuff like that, along with, you know, actually being able to access the online stuff, which is nice. And I would probably recommend doing that. However, the one problem is that if you are playing this game in handheld mode and you go onto standby, it'll cut your connection to the server and you'll be thrown back to the title screen. It does save your progress right up to that very point, like a few seconds behind at most is the worst you'll be at. I'm just saying, if you plan on putting your Switch in standby a lot, you should probably play in the offline lobby. Nevertheless, here we are. This is our Auto Patrol results screen. I don't know what the deal with this is, but I'm guessing it's just if other people decide to hire you, which is a thing that can happen in this game, you'll get some money for it. But anyway, here we are. This is Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and we have a big lobby town thing to go explore. There's a massive amount of open space to go around, a bunch of stuff to do, and I'll try and make it as quick as humanly possible before we get to the gameplay, but I would like to get through as much of it as possible. You can see here that there's another player around here. This is a Frieza race player. You can play as one of 5 races. The Frieza race, the Buu race, the Namekians, the humans, and the Saiyans, and they all get their own little benefits and weaknesses. You also get to pick your city's hero, who happens to be the hero from the first game, but they had no way of doing save migration, at least for this version, so yeah, you can't do that. I just picked a Buu, because you don't see Boos very much in this game, which is kind of unfortunate, the Margin race, or whatever you want to call them, but yeah. So this is a giant open world, and here's the map for it, which oddly enough you access by holding down ZR, and you fly around this, you do quests, you go and visit trainers, you do all sorts of stuff. It's a huge place and takes a while to get around. I have the ability to fly, but I literally only just unlocked that. You only get that at the end of the Namekian saga in the story. So if you need to get around for like whatever reason, this is the only way you can do it. You have to press the Y button while you're down here and ride around on this slippery as hell thing. But anyway, let's get on to the actual gameplay stuff, because there is actually a lot to talk about here. You do have a chat to talk to people. There's not that much else that's relevant out here with the controls, but yeah. You can come around and talk to people, and I've got Vegeta here as my trainer. You can pick a trainer to have them talk to you in between things like titles and stuff like that. So yeah, as your relationship with the instructor reaches a certain level, so I've got a mark, and I can also ask him to train me. I don't actually have a extra lesson to go for him right now, and I don't want to go for a lesson because they're quite boring, but basically you can get trainers from all over the Dragon Ball universe, because basically the entire point of Dragon Ball Xenoverse is that Dragon Ball Z is getting screwed with, the history of it is being screwed with, and you have to go and help out, try and put things back to normal, and of course that means it's basically just a gigantic Dragon Ball Z fan wank. And to be fair, I like Dragon Ball Z, so I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, you got trainers, you have the ability to go around and see them. You also have quests that you can come do out here, and weird special quests. Like there was one I got where I had to do milk delivery to help out Krillin, which was a little odd, but not the worst thing in the world. Hey, giant fish. You can also come out to, I believe it was around here, so if I make a right here, here we go, a pool. If I talk to him, he might give me a side quest, he might give me a fight. No, he's actually giving me a side quest, which is pretty cool, but I can come back to him if I want to, which is pretty cool. That happens sometimes, you get side quests. I keep forgetting it's the bloody ZL button, not the L button. But the majority of the stuff you're going to want to do is back around the bottom right of the world. There is fast travel, which I will be more than happy to show you in just a moment. We have to go to the transfer shop clerk, and then we can talk to him, and he can send us to wherever we need to be. So I'll just go straight to the time machine station. So, there are multiple different kinds of quests in this game. You have already seen one of the side quests you can get. There is online and offline battles, which are one-on-one fights, or two-on-two, or three-on-three. I haven't tried them, if you want me to be perfectly honest, because playing this game PvP seems like a bit of a bad idea, honestly. You can also come here to say you want to be part of a team, or if you want to make a team for playing missions, obviously. And you've got online parallel and offline parallel quests, which are your main side quests in this game. I'll just show you the menu right here. And these are side quests to let you build up your resources, get some extra money, get some extra items. So for example, Super Saiyan Legend here gives me a special attack, a small mixed capsule, and some money. You also have scores, so you can get a specific letter rank. It goes up to S, and then there's a Z above that, which is neat. So that's pretty cool. You do also have the main story, which as I said before, is basically someone is screwing with the Dragon Ball timeline, and you need to go sort it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head up this way, and we're going to go and replay some of the time quests, some of the main time quests that I've actually done, just to show you what the presentation is like and get in a little bit of basic fighting before we do anything else. We're not going to go to the Elder Kai because that's going to progress the story. We're just going to head straight up here. Unfortunately, you can't fly or get on your little hover ship, which is kind of annoying, but oh well. You do also have things called Legend Patrols. It's free DLC for the first month of the game's out, so you've probably got like 2-3 weeks to get it. And that'll let you play through the original game story, which is cool. And here we are in the Time Vault. So we can pick ourselves a battle. And yes, this actually does change the story a bit. They do screw around with the timeline, but still have things turn out exactly the way they're supposed to be, which is nice. Because as you can see, Cooler enters the fray, and as a Dragon Ball fan, that just kind of blows my mind. But nevertheless, hopefully it'll actually show the cutscenes and not just take me straight to the fight, but you never know.
I didn't use enough power.
I see. You were afraid of being caught in the explosion. You failed.
Thinking of your safety at a time like this? You always were weak.
Is that you?
Yep. It's Dragon Ball Z through and through. I love it. It's got... Well, I don't want to say it's fantastic voice acting, because Dragon Ball Z was never known for having fantastic voice acting, but it sounds just like Dragon Ball Z, and it looks just like Dragon Ball Z. The game is really, really nice to look at. Just some fantastic effects going on here. You've got a great amount of detail, lots of good quality in the textures, and the effects. The effects are fantastic. There's just an absolute ton of them going around, and the sound design as well, just fantastic too. Really well done. That was my toe cracking. It's just a really well designed Dragon Ball game. It feels like Dragon Ball just by looking at it and by listening to it. They do an absolutely wonderful job just with the presentation of Dragon Ball. We've got another cutscene coming in too. This does happen sometimes. But still. Seriously, this looks great. Even on handheld, it looks pretty damn good. There is one problem with the game's presentation though, and that's the amount of lines and aliasing that can show up sometimes, especially in handheld mode. It can be a bit annoying to have to deal with just because there's often so many there's often so many lines around the screen that can kind of get distracting. But at the same time, when you get like 30 seconds or so into a fight, you've gotten into the flow of things, you're flying around all over the place, and you're just beating the absolute shit out of Nappa and Raditz. I was about to say Naditz and Rappa, but that's not right. But once you get used to it, it's absolutely fine. Like, the game's performance doesn't skip a beat so far. I've been playing this for a while. I've been playing it on some really heavy stages and some really lightweight stages, and the game is perfectly fine with pretty much anything it throws at you. Actually, no, that's kind of a lie. There is a couple of frame drops in the hub world. So, you know, look at that effect. Look at that. That is awesome. That is really good. Really good effects work right there. Yeah, the game drops a little bit in frames in the... Ooh. I'm letting you do... Oh, no, you're doing that thing again. Alright, whatever. So, the game does drop a couple of frames in the actual hub world. Other than that, no problem. Not really, anyway. So, let's get on to talking about the actual gameplay, shall we? So, this is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. It is a beat-em-up, more or less. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. It is a character action game, but I feel that's rather indecisive. I say this game feels like an MMO, and it has this sort of like lightweight, not too heavily consequential combat. It doesn't require too much in the way of timing or button inputs. It feels like Dynasty Warriors, but against just like single dudes. It's nothing complex. You've got your light attack and your heavy attack, and you combine them to make combos. You have a key button, which you can use to throw out distracting key blasts and also throw out a charged one like I just did. You have a button to rise up in the air and fall to the ground. You have a button to do a dash, which will take up some stamina. You have the R button, which is your block, and you can, if you press the R button, you can also do a grab, like I just did. Just beat the crap out of Cooler. If you hold the R button, it lets you do your special moves. You can carry around 4 of these at any one time. I have mainly key-based abilities, because that's what I built my character around, because this game is an RPG, and it doesn't kind of require you to do that sort of thing. I have mostly key-based abilities, but there are physical abilities. There are also evasion abilities and ultimate abilities. We'll get to them. Could not see shit there. So, let me show off another one. Gallic Gun. There's an absolute ton of special abilities and moves that you can get. All the trainers in the game, all around the main city, you go and train with them, and as you unlock like new levels of recruitment training, you have to do a certain amount of training, then you get the ability to take what they call a graduation test to level up, and then you can do slightly more, and then you can get more trainers, and every one of these trainers will give you their moves. So there is an ever-loving ton of moves to learn.
Use the Dragon Balls. Okay. I really don't know much about you, but you really helped me out. Let me be the one to finish this, though.
The lip syncing's a bit off, but it's a Japanese developed game. I'm not going to hold them too harshly to that one. So yeah, you've seen roughly how a story fight goes in this game. Sometimes you have to do multiple ones in a row before they let you go back, which is alright. I got a rank D, holy hell. I must not have done very well. I leveled up, so I got attribute points. We can go do our menu diving before we head back. I just love the sudden Majin Buu out of nowhere, that's why I picked him.
So you couldn't seal the deal.
Hurry after him!
I'll just skip the rest of these cutscenes. You get the general idea. There's not that much left to see anyway, unless they make me go through the other weird kind of cutscene they've got going. They've also got some 2D anime. Oh no, they actually did let me see this. I'll shut up.
Excellent work! Even surviving a fight with Frieza is enough of a feat on its own!
You did well.
Still, I was shocked when Cooler showed up.
Right. To think Toa and Mira could gain such powerful allies.
While we were tied up, they must have recruited whoever was free.
Oh, nice work from you as well.
Huh? Where's your friend?
Gone after Mira. Those two arrived from the future and brought disaster. Mira and Toa. There seems to be no limit to their power. You aren't ready to fight them yet. You might have to one day, though, so be prepared.
Anyway, you've done enough for one day. We'll call you when we need your help again.
Alright, so yeah, that was a look at the story. It's light-hearted in tone for the most part anyway. You know how things are going to turn out. You're literally there to make sure they do turn out the way they normally turn out. As for whether someone who doesn't enjoy Dragon Ball Z would enjoy this, I'm not entirely sure about that. Mainly because it relies so much on having previous knowledge of events that happened anyway, that everything that does happen just feels kind of inconsequential if you take it from the point of view of someone who's never seen the original show before. Like, for me, I had a bit of a squee moment when Cooler just comes out of nowhere to help Frieza in the final battle on Namek. That was great, but if you don't understand, like, the concept behind that, it might not be as interesting as you would hope, which is kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I don't get the idea that this game was made for people who, like, already, for people who don't already know what Dragon Ball Z is. So, there you go. There was Yamcha back there, by the way. One of the moves he gives you is fake death, which is ridiculous. But let's go and have a little bit more of a look around. So, there are actually some other things you can do. So, you see how there are 5 icons on the screen there that are like floating on inverted pyramids? Those are the game's side quests, or major side quests, as I should say. Like, my personal favorite is the one here. It leads to Frieza's spaceship, and you actually get to be in his army, and you get to fight Zarbon, Force Zarbon or Dodoria if you want. Over this way, you get to go to Hercule's house, which has you fighting with the Great Cybermen, which is fantastic. In fact, let's go see if they actually have another mission for me. The Cybermen also have a, no, Hercule also actually has his own set of, like, little mini-quests for you, like get a 45-hit combo, or go and play X amount of quests, and then you can come back and you'll get a reward for it. My current one is get a 45-hit combo, and I haven't pulled that off yet, but we do have a fight that we can do with the Great Cybermen, so we're actually going to do that, because there is actually some sort of, I don't want to call it off-kilter voice acting, but it's obviously a little bit outside of canon. They're obviously just doing it to have fun with it, and every line inside the actual battle is voice acted, so we're going to play another stage just for the purpose of me finishing explaining my... just for the finishes of me finishing explaining what the gameplay is like. So yeah, I have to... Looks like I'm going to be fighting these 3. You'll be seeing little lines come up in the bottom left, and it is all voice acted, which is great, because there is some ridiculous shit, like Berta says something along the lines of, oh, I stayed up too late playing video games, which actually fits me quite well, but nevertheless. So here we go. So yeah, all these little weird voice lines are acted out in this, which is great. It is, it's a ton of fun just to listen to them because it's just silly, out of canon stuff that is just surprisingly enjoyable. But anyway, let me get into the more complicated parts of this game. So you have ki and stamina, which you need to do your particular moves. Ki is for energy and stamina is for moves like the Z Flash, which is if you're getting hit from behind by someone and you tap a specific button. For me, it's the L button. You'll teleport behind them. This game literally has teleporting behind them as a gameplay mechanic, which is kind of great, but yeah, that does actually happen as a thing. You also need stamina for things like dashing around really quick and doing other kinds of special moves. So you need to manage your resources as well as you can. Me personally, I don't have that much of a reliance on stamina because I like to stay back relatively far and do things like blow the ever-loving bejesus out of people with gigantic Kaioken Kamehamehas. That is another special move that I've got. You have ultra special moves that take up 3 bars of ki, so you do need to worry about your ki consumption when it comes to these sorts of moves. But I do also have just regular old ki moves that I can use, which is perfectly fine. And of course, you do have the ability to lock on to people and swap your lock-on targets. Notably, your combat will happen around the character you're locked onto. So, if you end up in a situation where you're getting attacked from like 3 sides, it's not particularly great, and it's notably quite hard to aim your attacks, not to name your attacks, to aim your attacks while you are not locked onto anybody, which is kind of annoying, honestly, but honestly, there are worse things in the world. The game's kind of designed for one-on-one lock-on combat. As for the combat, how is it? It's fine. Like, I know that was a bit of a fast way to answer that question, but it really is just fine. Like, I did bring up Destiny before, and the thing about Destiny is that, say what you will about that game's gunplay. Like, personally, I think the gunplay in that game is pretty good, but it's nothing particularly amazing. Oh dear, I think we lost the great Cyman 2, who's Videl, I believe. The actual combat in this game is meant in such a way as to not be too hard as to be frustrating or particularly annoying or just any number of things, what have you, right? It's not meant to be particularly complex, frustrating, difficult, what have you. It's not meant to be Devil May Cry. It's meant to be easy, pick up and play, spam to hell gameplay, right? I have absolutely no problems with that as a concept. The game itself is very spammy. You can spend time pressing buttons and you'll probably do just fine. If you need to level up to actually be able to do that, that is fine too, because the game has an absolute ton of content, which we'll get to.
How was it?
Keep that up, and we'll win again next time. Ha ha ha!
It's not the best voice acting in the world, I know, but it's Dragon Ball Z voice acting, and I'm quite a fan of it. Item, TP, and we get to leave again. But yeah, the actual combat itself is fine. It's lightweight, it's not particularly complicated, but it's big, it's flashy, it's fun to just hit the buttons, and to be fair, the game around it also helps out a fair amount, so yeah. So I love how Jaco is here. Why is he here? Like, I'm not entirely sure why he's here. I mean, I know he's from Dragon Ball Super. I've seen some of Super, but I do not remember him being in Z. They have added a little bit of Super content to this, but most of the Super content in this game is actually DLC packs, which is kind of disappointing, but not particularly massively disappointing. Hello, you can stop waving now. So we'll just teleport back to the main city. And every one of those 5 areas has a series of side quests to do. So, you've got, Kami's house. No, it's not Kami, it's, Guru's house. Which is a series of missions involving you defending Namek. Then you've got, over on the top right there, I believe that... No, that's not the Captain Corp building. Oh, great, now I've gone and forgotten it. Oh, that's Majin Buu's house. So, you go to Majin Buu's house and you feed him food, and you get more family members to get items from. And then down there you've got Capsule Corp, which is run by Vegeta, which is fantastic, because Vegeta's my favorite character in Dragon Ball Z. And you can use him to create special kinds of items and also do a little bit of extra side quests on the side himself. So, just let me get this straight. So you've got special events with the trainers, you've got the trainer quests, you have the parallel quests, you have the 5 sets of side quests going on there, you have the parallel quests, and then you've got the main plot. And then there's also apparently something called expert quests, which is ridiculous. The game has such a retarded amount of content that I'm at level 37, sorry, and I've out-leveled pretty much everything that I have to do at this point, so I mainly just have to go and play through the story just to get the stuff that actually challenges me. The amount of stuff there is to do in this game is great, and it means that you don't have to spend too much time focusing on one thing. You can go do whatever you want. I basically just spent time leveling up my trainer level so that I could unlock Vegeta faster, because I wanted him to be my pal, and I wanted his key attacks, because you can do that. And there's a bunch of other things you can do as well, so just before we do that, we're going to go have a look around at the shops. We would check out the time-space delivery and the TP Metal Clerk, but I don't have anything with time-space delivery, which is basically gifts, and I don't have anything I can buy here because you can only get into the TP Metal Shop on Friday through Sunday. Why they make you do that, I don't know. So you can buy clothing, which is armor. We'll come back to that. You can mix stuff using materials to make, like, health potions and stuff. You can buy skills. If I can just get on the ground properly. And you can buy all sorts of different kinds of skills that you might not even have. And you can also earn them in the actual stages. Yep, and then you can also purchase them with TP medals. You get TP medals every time you finish a specific mission, and you can use them to buy stuff as well, which is great. But of course, you can also spend them on the shop that's only open Friday through Sunday, so I've been trying to hold on to mine.
Welcome.
Item shop, pretty basic stuff here. You can buy plenty of different kinds of ingredients, and you can also buy souls, which will give you special abilities or change your type of key, which is nice. Yep, from all attacks. Okay, I'm good at finding that sort of stuff, but anyway. Yeah, so you can buy a bunch of stuff here to outfit yourself with. Now, menu diving time. If you hit plus, you get into your lobby menu. And you can do a bunch of different things here. So we can come and change our equipment, which will let us change what we're wearing. So I can actually change myself to Goku's Turtle Hermit Gi. I don't know if you pronounce it that way. And you can also... Whoops, I didn't mean to press B there, but I pressed A and B at the same time. And you can change to pretty much whatever the damn hell you want, which is nice. You can see that it says ineffective when QQ Bang is equipped, but you can also see the little stats under there that you get. And you can also see that, only some classes can wear some armor. That's fine. So, you can put on whatever the hell you want, basically. Some of this will actually affect your base stats, though, as you can see. Your health, your ki, your stamina, your attacks, and both your super types. You also have accessories, which don't do much. It's fine, really. You can even put on a Goku wig. That's kind of great. That's actually kind of great, but I like having the katana on my back. You can also make something called a QQ Bang. That's what you make over at the Capsule Corp side quest area. And what the QQ Bang does is you put 2 pieces of clothing and 1 item into a thing, and it lets you make a basically preset set of stat upgrades that will overwrite anything that your clothes have. So if you want to wear whatever you want, but you don't like the stats that are on it, just go make a decent QQ Bang that you're a fan of, and you can use that and then just wear whatever the hell you want. And then, of course, you've got your Super Soul, which will change your things. Like, so I can get Flying Nimbus, which grants me super armor, but the one I've got right now boosts my charged Ki Blast and makes it just a big ball. You can also come here to change the color of everything that you're wearing. So, that's pretty cool as well. You do also get a fair bit of character customization, different ears, noses, chins, eyes, and, of course, hairstyles, because this is Dragon Ball. No. You can come in and change your attacks and where they're bound. It's pretty simple stuff. I don't know what my Awoken skill is yet. I assume that's the move you use to transform into a Super Saiyan, but I'm not entirely sure. You can boost your attributes, which is literally just like leveling up, more or less. Like, there's seriously not that much else to it. I'm gonna get myself... Actually, I'll upgrade my super strength here, which is good. My Ki Super, because I prefer using my Ki attacks if you couldn't tell. You can change your battle items, which are literally just 4 items you take in with you. You can only hold 1 of every particular type at a time, and they will automatically refresh if you have stock, which is very good. You can also change your fixed chat, which is what you can use to change what you say in the middle of the battlefield, and you can also do presets, which are just different equipment and super attacks, which is nice. You do also have plenty of room for characters though, so if you want to make a bunch of different characters, that's good, you can do that. And every particular race also gets a little bit of extra benefit. So for example, since I am a Saiyan, I get the Capsule Core benefit, which means I get more items from that side quest. If you were a Namekian, you would get to go up into the top left and do some extra stuff with Guru and Nail, which is perfectly fine. You can come into your play data, and as I said before, it is a bit weird that the game doesn't feel the need to actually track how long you've been playing it for, which is a bit odd. But yeah, so you can come here and change the way the game presents you. So I can say my power level is super if I feel like it. I can also change my marks. And I believe I actually have heard one mark. Yep, Proud Saiyan Prince, which... What the hell is he wearing? Oh god, it's probably something from Super. You can also check your stats here, your head-to-head matches, your total completion of the game, your activities with all your side quests. Just some pretty basic stuff here, nothing too out of the ordinary, your relationships with your trainers. All of this makes perfect sense. You can come check your bag for your items and your skills and what equipment you have. Notably, you can even get some really weird stuff. Like, I've got Dragon Balls here. No idea what they do. I probably would if I looked them up, but yeah. And we've also got plenty of food as well, which I can go feed to Majin Buu. Although that probably won't do much for him, and all your mixing items and your capsules. You can check the playlist of everyone who's here. And we have a lot of people, actually. That's just kind of neat. Fair amount of people. Minter Games, yeah, I saw him around before, actually. And we also have your options menu. You can come here and change some things, but not all things. Like, for example, you can't change the voice language while you're in-game. It's all really basic stuff. Like, there's nothing here that really gets too far in the way of things. It really is just basic leveling up, equipping your character how you like, dressing them the way you like, getting as many items and moves and stuff that you feel like getting, and just having fun beating the crap out of people. That is seriously it. It isn't really a very Dragon Ball-y thing, because this isn't exactly what Dragon Ball is, but just the overall, sorry, my head is not working with me today. Just the overall feel of the game, its gameplay loop, and everything about it is just spot on. It really does feel like a very satisfying game to play, even though it's not particularly tactically deep or interesting. So we're going to go play some parallel quests to end this video off, because, you know, not that much better to do. And you can pick whatever outfit you like, including him being Captain Ginyu. I actually like that. Let's stick with that. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's kind of awesome. But yeah, you can pick whoever you want to fight with as an AI partner if you're not going online, which is great, because, you know, the fighting online with people isn't particularly the best. I'll get into that. And the idea with parallel quests is that they really are just standalone fights that also let you, like, warp between areas, and it's not locked to a specific area like certain quests are, like in the story mode. And also there are some absolutely ridiculous things that can happen in these side quests, like, as I said before, there is a really funny line where Berta stays up too long playing video games. It's great. Like, I know I'm harping pretty much on that line, but that's just the sort of thing you're working with here. It's obviously not taking itself too seriously, and it's just having fun with it. And that I like. It feels like that the game itself is just one big fan service package. And as someone who enjoyed playing Dragon Ball back in the... watching Dragon Ball, I should say, back in the day. As someone who enjoyed watching Dragon Ball back in the day, I really do enjoy this. The fighting, as I said, not particularly amazing, very lightweight, very spammy, but with all the different effects you've got, just how smoothly it moves, how you can quickly go from target to target, just how the game's effects look, everything just comes together into a really nice package of just fun shit. Like, it's the same thing that Gundam Breaker 3 does. It has tons of fan service, it has lots of things to do and unlock, and the combat, while not being too heavy or particularly difficult, is fun and it has all of the things that most Dragon Ball fans, or at least most Dragon Ball Z fans, I should say, would want. And, like, what else do you want? I'm honestly not sure what else you would want, because seriously, this is a fantastic little package for people who like the series. If you hate Dragon Ball, this isn't going to change your mind, because it does definitely have that sort of Dragon Ball feel to it. That atmosphere, just the general, you know, having fun when you're having fun and being serious when you're being serious about it. You know what I mean? Just the overall tone just holds true. And the overall quality just holds true, because Dragon Ball was never the most amazing series, but it was a very well done series, and it was still very enjoyable, and is still enjoyable to this day. But the combat is well balanced, and it's just fun. Like, I am legitimately having a lot of fun with this, and I haven't gotten to the point where I feel like that I regret, sorry, I'm having a little bit of a lisp today. I haven't gotten to the point where I regret spending my time here lately, so... This beam spam, mofo. Yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun. I really am. The game itself is great. It is legitimately really enjoyable. I mean, if you're not that big of a fan of Dragon Ball, this might not change your mind, but at the same time, if you're looking for a good beat-em-up, like a good 3D beat-em-up with a absolute ton of stuff to it, and by ton of stuff, I mean ton of content, not ton of gameplay depth, you will be served perfectly fine by this. Screw you. Come back here. What else is there to talk about? So, right, we are in a parallel quest. I should just mention what a parallel quest is. There we go. I should just mention what a parallel quest is. So, as I said before, it's like a little weird out-of-story side quest that you can do that just gives you different items and stuff that you can use and sell in order to get what you're looking for, which is perfectly fine. You do also have special side objectives that can come up. So if you finish a level in a specific way, you will unlock a secondary fight. And even if you lose the secondary fight, you won't lose the quest overall, which is great, because that means that even if you run into something you have trouble with, well, you can always come back later. And if you do manage to find what it is you're looking for, well, you'll do just fine. But yes.
The greatest fear the universe has ever known.
Hello, Frieza. Just like in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, people are still having trouble figuring out if you're a guy. Kind of fantastic, but yes. There are a couple of other things I should talk about, like the game's online performance. Now, I was playing with people from across the pond a lot. I didn't get that many opportunities to try the game out online, because pretty much every time I tried, it would turn out to be a room I couldn't connect to, or a room that was full, or there was just nobody playing, which is kind of unfortunate, but nothing, nothing particularly too bad, because the majority of the game can be played offline anyway, thanks to the online bots. When I did play, though, it was a little bit of a mixed bag. Everyone I played with was high ping, but some would feel like I would be falling behind massively, and some would feel like that I was keeping up, despite the fact that the ping meter said exactly the same thing about pretty much every game that I was in, and that was that I was red connection to pretty much everybody. Which is kind of annoying, but not a huge problem, really. However, I wouldn't be a fan of trying to play this online when you're trying to do 1v1s against other people, because one of the times that I noticed when I was playing online, because the game's quick match function works sometimes and it doesn't, it's weird. Like, the game has the ability to search for individual rooms, and you can also just do quick match to get thrown into the first public game you can find, but it just won't work half the time for some reason. If it finds the first game you can get into, but that game you can't get into, it'll try and put you into that one time and time again, which is surprisingly annoying. But yes. The game's netcode is a little bit weird. Like, there was one time I was playing online where the game, it felt like I was a couple of steps behind the game at pretty much every turn, which was kind of frustrating if you want me to be honest. So I wouldn't want to go playing that with online people just because, you know, you could get your ass handed to you in a fight where the guy on the other end has a bad connection and also happens to be hosting, because I'm somewhat sure this game's P2P. Which kind of sucks, but then again, the Switch only really did just come out. They might just be learning, and well, who knows? Maybe it is dedicated server. Maybe it is, and it's just really bad dedicated servers. Who knows? But still, the game itself, it still manages to be a good time online. It is definitely one I would recommend going and playing online with people if you have a good party to play it with. Because that would be a fun time, just beating the crap out of people with your own created sane characters and all that. I don't think you can do the story mode in co-op, which kind of sucks, but I mean, the story mode so far has been relatively easy, so it probably is simple enough just to go, get your parallel quests, start playing them, and then just breeze through the story in like 20-something minutes if you really just want to play this game co-op. That was a bit odd. I wonder why I aimed at the wall. I don't block very much if you couldn't tell, which is probably a bad idea considering that I use something that massively takes down my health. Ow! Ow! Damn it, Frieza! Well, we just lost Goku, which kind of sucks. Thankfully, yes, you can actually go and revive them, so if I can just... There. Yeah, you keep healing. Get Goku, but there we go. Get Goku back up, please. Thank you. You can just hear me tapping my controller buttons like mad, because it really is the best way to play this game. Just throw out everything you've got and just enjoy the special effects. But yeah, the combat does have some depth to it at least, you know, choosing whatever moves you want, choosing your build, choosing how you want to play with your stats and all that, but really it is still quite a simple 2D beat 'em, 3D beat 'em up, and I'm enjoying it immensely. I really am. I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to. I remember playing the original Xenoverse and feeling a bit down about that, but they seem to have tweaked this a lot. And my initial experience with this game is miles ahead of my initial experience with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1.
If that's your limit, you have let me down.
I'm sorry, Vegeta. I'll do better next time. There are a couple of other minor nitpicks to be had, but they're so tiny I'm not even going to bother mentioning them. The game itself is just a really good time. Like, seriously, I am enjoying myself immensely. And if anyone were to ask me whether or not I personally would recommend this game, I would say in a heartbeat. I am enjoying this a lot, and I am half tempted to go and get myself the season passes, just because I want to play the Dragon Ball Super content in this, and there is an absolute ton of content. You're looking at all sorts of shit you can go do. So I'm gonna play one more. Unfortunately, I didn't actually unlock the special conditions, which kind of sucks. I really wish I had gone around to that, but as you can see, there is also some replayability as well. And, well, I did get all the items and stuff, so what have you. So let's go play Clash of Kin. I'm gonna shut up because my voice is starting to hurt. And I'm just gonna let this one play out, let you listen to the really awesome soundscape they got going, and just let you watch the visual spectacle that is this game, because seriously, this game just looks and sounds the part, it feels the part, it is the part. It feels like a proper Dragon Ball game, and it manages to mix in the way that, it manages to mix in the sort of MMORPG aspects that some games have without making me feel sick to my stomach, looking at you, Destiny. So, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I would fully recommend it. I'm going to shut up. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.
Good! You're doing great!
Kill me? Oh, big brother. You saw the extent of my power.
I never killed you out of shade familial respect, but this is your best. Perhaps that needs to change.
Oh, yeah, my best. You're far more.
I was ignorant.
Do you really believe that nonsense? It seems the only way to make you understand is to kill you.
Frieza? No, not quite.
Saiyans must be exterminated!
All Saiyans must die.
I will defeat you and avenge everyone you mercilessly killed!
Saiyans must be exterminated!
Try me. You'll be dead before you know it.
You beat Frieza and his brother? Not many people can stick it to those two. Thanks to your victory, we have a little time left. How about we spar a bit? Vegeta. Sorry, but I'm going to use my full power.
You always manage to be one step ahead of me. You're as annoying as always.
Not bad. But I'm not going to let you win this. What happened? Get a hold of yourself! This isn't a battle you can win easily. You're pretty good. That was one heck of a move. So strong.
So you dispatched them all, did you? Not bad. Every breath you draw is an insult to the Saiyan race, Kakarot.
Hi! The name's Goku, and I'm an Earthling.
I suppose I should thank you for the opportunity to test our combined might. Let's rumble.
Guess I felt
Something about your face makes me want to vomit.
Well, if it isn't Prince Vegeta.
Could you last, I wonder?
This guy's strong!
Good! Wow! You're the best, almost.
Welcome! Today is your Ginyu Force entrance exam. We'll be testing your strength ourselves. Pass, and you can join our prestigious ranks. That means coming up with a new pose, though. Well, you'll need to beat us first. Then we can talk poses.
What a lousy job.
I love that my promising new rookies across the turn.
You don't have to overdo it. You're pretty vicious.
Whoa now. I need to pay attention, or I'm going to be in trouble. Not! No way! You're actually keeping up with me?
Don't get cocky now. This is where it gets really serious.
You got a lot of spunk. I'll play with you for a while, man. That was too close. Looks like I need to focus.
You actually packed some punch. I like that.
Well now, you're pretty good.
I'm surprised you
come this far. You've got guts. The mighty Captain Ginyu will give you the final exam. Tremble in awe at my power. Why are you fighting like an amateur? Did you forget to use the bathroom or something? Yeah, that's it. Show some spirit. Pump yourself up to win. You actually went and beat me? Don't you know how this is supposed to work? What's wrong with you? Well, whatever. You passed the exam. But don't think for a minute we were giving our all. This was a test for your benefit. Got that?
It seems you have some semblance of motor skills. Until the next lesson, then,